Okay guys, you definitely need a calculator today, and then please make sure to get the 10-4 notes from the sub. Please put your phones away so that you can get these notes done. On Friday we will be reviewing some, and if you chose not to do this, then that's your own fault. You will need to do this on your own time. I'm not going to have extra time on Friday to go over these notes from yesterday and today. So you guys will be able to find the measures of inscribed angles and chords of circles, and then understand what intercepted arcs and tangent lines are in regard to circles. You guys will complete the Unit 10 circle homework today as well. Okay, so you can read through these. A chord is a line segment where both endpoints are on a circle. So a chord would be this one. It is not a diameter. It is not a radius. Okay, so it does not go through the middle of the circle. An inscribed angle is an angle whose vertex is on a circle and whose sides contain chords of a circle. So on the side, on a circle, this wouldn't be in the middle of a circle. The arc formed by an inscribed angle. So the intercepted arc is the arc formed by an inscribed angle. So that is our arc, which is always on the outside or the, the rim of the circle. The tangent line is a line or line segment that intersects a circle at one point. So in this case, the blue line in the picture is your tangent line. So these two pictures at the bottom gives you a better visual. The inscribed angle is on the edge, and then the intercepted arc is at 80 degrees. The other thing is an angle formed by a chord and a tangent can also be considered an inscribed angle. This is important here, so remember that. When we're looking at this, that's an inscribed angle, and so is this. So we will be able to use the formula here in a second to find those angle measures. Okay, the measure of an inscribed angle equals 1/2 the measure of its inscribed arc. So I'm going to say like the measure of an angle equals 1/2 of the measure of the arc. Okay, so we are looking for the measure of GI. We have the inscribed angle, which is 70. We're going to have 70 equals 1/2 times x. Now these, you should be able to easily solve. I want to get x by itself, so I'm going to multiply both sides by 2. So that means x equals 140, because the 2's canceled and then you have x by itself. These are in degrees, so you're going to want to put 140 degrees. For number 2, we have 196, and this is the arc measure because it's on the outside. Please make sure you're taking your time on these and get them right. So we are looking for the measure of the angle, and we have 1/2 of the measure of the arc. So 1/2 of 196 is 98. So this angle here is 98 degrees. Okay. Now this we have to use a little bit of prior knowledge. So this is my central angle, 60 degrees. And if my central angle is 60 degrees, that means this arc measure is 60 degrees. So I can still find that angle measure here by doing my formula. So I'd have 1/2 of 60. So that means angle MSP is 30 degrees. Okay, now this is the same thing, but this is an angle formed by a chord and a tangent, can also be considered an inscribed angle. So because even though it's not inside the entire circle itself, we can still use our equation here to help us. So this 146 is my arc measure, and I'm looking for the angle measure. So I have x equals 1/2 of 146. So even though it's, outside of the circle and it doesn't look like the other ones, this is still the arc measure of this angle here. So for this one, x would be 73 degrees. So measure of angle SRQ is 73 degrees. Now for number 5, you have the angle measure. We're looking for the arc. So to get x by itself, I'm going to need to multiply each side by 2. And x equals 152. Or the question mark, rather. Okay, now. Or not the question mark. So make sure you're looking at what this says. Okay, now this said measure of arc GF, which would be from here. Oh yeah, which should be right here. Okay, so we know already that the measure of arc GF, so from here to here, is 152 degrees. Okay, we know that the entire circle is 360 degrees. So we can do 360 minus 152 to find that question mark. Okay, which is 208. So that means your arc measure is 208. Now you could also, let me erase this for a second. Whoops. A line is always 180 degrees, no matter what it looks like. If you don't think it's 180 degrees, still 180 degrees. So this whole thing here, from here to here, is 180. So if one side is 76, that means this angle over here is 104 degrees. So you could easily do, 104 equals 1/2 times x, and we could multiply both sides by 2, and we would get 208 equals x. So both of those ways work. Okay, now the next one, if two angles intercept the same arc, then their measures are equal. So I'm looking at my first angle GHI. That is working with arc GI. Now the other angle GJH is also having to do with arc GI. So because they intercept the same arc, that means angle GJI is also 50 degrees. Okay, now the measure of arc GI. So we already have, these are both 50 degrees. It doesn't matter which one you work with, but we're going to use our equation from the last page to find the arc measure. So we have 50 equals 1/2 of x. So multiply both sides by 2, and you get x equals 100. So the arc measure is 100 degrees. Okay, now this one is asking for the measure of arc AC. Okay, so we have this is 55 degrees, and it is looking at that arc there. So we know 55 equals 1/2 times x. So again, you need to multiply both sides by 2, and you would get x equals 110. So the arc measure is 110 degrees. Okay. HI, so we already know that this is the angle measure for the arc. We can also write in that, this is 25 if we want to, because it is intercepting the same arc, but we will do that in the next question. So I have 25 equals 1/2 of x. I'm looking for the arc measure. Multiply both sides by 2, so x equals 50, and that is the arc measure of HI. Now again, we have this angle, it's intercepting arc HI. This angle is also intercepting HI, so x is 25 degrees because their measures are equal. Okay. And then this one, so we have ABC is 55 degrees, angle ABC is 55 degrees, and it's intercepting arc AC. I also have ADC, and it's intercepting arc AC. So that means that these two angles are equal to each other. So we can easily find x by solving an equation. So we have 50 equals 2x, so x would equal 25. Okay, putting it all together. So judging by what you know all triangles add up to 180 degrees. You learned the two new things today, okay? You know that a line equals 180 for degrees. So we can figure all those out. Okay, so the measure of angle ABC. So I have the arc measure here. So I can figure out what this angle is by doing x equals 1/2 of 110 degrees, which angle ABC then ends up being 55 degrees. Then to find angle ACB, if we know that this is already 55 degrees, we know that a triangle adds up to 180, so we can do 180 minus 48 minus 55, which ends up being 77 degrees. Then we can find our arc measure. So we know that this side is already 110, so we don't need to do anything with that. To find the measure of arc BC, we know what the angle measure is, and it is across from there, so it's 48 equals 1/2 of x. So we're going to multiply both sides by 2, and we would get 96 for x, which is the arc measure. Okay, now again, you know that a circle adds up to 360. So if I have arcs that are already given to me at 110 and 96, I can just subtract those from 360 to get my last arc measure, which is 154 degrees. Okay. So then for the next one, okay, there's a lot to kind of think about here, but this one isn't that bad. So I know that this central angle means that this arc measure is 40 degrees, okay? So then in order to find A, I'd have A equals 1/2 of 44, and half of 44 is 22 degrees. So A would be 22 degrees. Then I can figure out what C is because I have the majority of this circle arc measures, okay? And I'm only looking for C. So I could do 360 minus 160 minus 44, and that would be 156 degrees, and that would give me C. Let me erase some stuff here. Okay, so C is 156 degrees. So this is the inscribed angle for that arc there. So to find B, I know what C is, which is its arc measure, so 1/2 times 156, and that's how I can find B, which would be 78 degrees. Okay, then the last one, so again, you can figure out what angle VXW is because it's inside the triangle. So 180 minus 38 minus 73, that would give me 69. Oops. Okay, so I'm going to have to find all three arcs. So arc VW is from here to here, and that goes with the 69. So I have 69 equals 1/2 of x. Multiply both sides by 2, so you get measure of arc VW is 138 degrees. Let's see. Arc VX is here, so my angle for that is 73. So I have 73 equals 1/2 of x. Multiply both sides by 2, that means x is 146. And then to get the last one, again, we know that the whole entire circle is 360. So we can do 360 minus 138 minus 146, which gives us 76 degrees. Okay, so that homework that you guys got yesterday, it says Unit 10 circles homework on the top is due on Friday. You should be able to complete it now that you learned the rest of these notes. If you didn't get it, please get it. You should be able to complete all of those. We will finish off with our reviewing and with our lessons on Friday, and then we'll be ready to take a quiz. And this will be open notes, and it will be on Monday, I believe. So I'll see you guys on Friday.